And in the bottom left, in the red, Warcraft's B-boy, it's Sock.
So I guess the most interesting thing that can deviate early is the creep route, right? Some humans go for the Ogre camp first, the Ogre warrior. Some go for the lab quickly for a fast level 2 and the big item. And there's definitely a player preference thing here going on between some players. Which one would you say you prefer, Todd, and what are the advantages of those options?
I think the lab has kind of been figured out. You're supposed to scout with your first footman, and then if you see opponent doing the opponent doing the lab, you leave that smaller range camp a little bit earlier, and then you go there and kill a bunch of militia, and then you get ahead like that. So I don't expect the lab. Yeah, you see, when you're scouting with your first footman, you also cannot pull that lab. So since they're both scouting, we're not gonna have that. I think it's been really figured out. Some players, they still try it, but I think they kind of hope to, you know, get a little bit lucky on the item, on the opponent's scout, and on the retreat path of the militia, because some humans, they got really good at retreating with militia, so that they make it very hard to actually kill the peasants, and then they deny their own peasants. So they accept that they're gonna lose 2 or 3 peasants that they might deny to get a good item. But yeah, other than that, look at the base of Chaemiko and those 2 farms. This is like the water elemental cage right there. If you try to summon a water elemental inside, it's gonna get trapped in there and not be able to attack much other than those buildings. So very nice sim city already. We're seeing some small intricate details. Sock is doing the standard creep route, by the way. He's going to the opponent's murlocs. You save the small turtle near your base usually for militia. But Chaemiko is playing defensive against that. He didn't do the same on the other side.
Important last hit, and Sock does get it. It's level 2 for him and the aura. That's a big deal. If he steals the huntsman away, that's going to be Chaemiko stuck on level 1 for quite some time, and it is, excuse me, stolen away. Chaemiko has been doing this little farm trick, by the way, against the Watermans for quite some time. But also, I've seen it backfire on him twice when he double-clicked TP'd and he was stuck between the 2 farms. Ooh,
yeah.
That can feel really bad. Hopefully, that won't happen this time. And the double rings, by the way, between the 2 archmages. That must feel familiar.
Yeah, I know this. I know everything that's happening in this game right now. This looks like a familiar sight. I wouldn't be surprised if Chaemiko went for his turtle camp, but it's getting pressured. Like, Sock might be going there himself. The footman of Chaemiko in the main base of Sock actually took a lot of damage there. That was a bit weird. Chaemiko is playing unconventional in that he played so passive, you know? Like, here's the thing about if Chaemiko had gone for the same creep route as Sock, it very quickly turns into a base trade, and those games can get a little silly.
Yeah, we don't have super aggressive play here towards the main anymore. I remember like a few years ago, it was kind of standard to have 2 arcane towers in your base. Both creep to level 3. One guy is aggressive and the one who's faster kind of harasses the peasants right away. And 2 arcane was oftentimes seen, sometimes even 3 arcane towers.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it feels like that is seen way less from the top humans.
Yeah, I think everybody got really good at like not stepping in necessarily. Instead, like you can see Chaemiko's altar would be quite exposed, as would Sock's. If there was like a big siege with water elementals level 2, so you don't have to necessarily go for militia. Everybody got very good at like the defense while being aggressive on the other side as well in those situations. And it seems like a lot of human players, they realize that like I feel like it's hard to make a difference on scale when you're doing these attacks. Like the games, like I said, can get a little silly very quickly. So I'm not surprised to see that so many players are starting to shy away from this type of games. But in this case, Sock was ready to go for that. He went for the standard creep route, went on the other side of the map, got the murlocs. Usually that gives you an advantage immediately to do that. And now look, he's level 3 way quicker. It's not even level 3, it's like level 3.3 already. He's gonna get a cancel on that shop. And I like his position in this game.
And didn't summon the water elemental into the base, as it would have been quite difficult with this little farm block. Oh, the telestaff. Don't tell me he lands inside! Oh, how does this keep happening?
Stop it.
Oh, poor Chaemiko. This is the 3rd time I see this happen. He must be starting to really reconsider this farm build.
And now, wait, the Archmage needs to attack actually. He's safe. He's in his bunker right there. And Sock, because he has so many water elemental, he has that one illusion as well. He's choosing to fight anyway. He's trying to kill as many peasants as he can as to damage the wood economy of Chaemiko as much as possible. Chaemiko took forever to come back with the footmen that he had on the other side of the map. And right now, Sok is running the show.
Yeah, with the footmen here now, Sok will retreat. Quite a few of these footies are bruised already. The great thing on this map, you can just send them to the fountain there, they heal for free. MK just a split second too late to at least catch one footy. And now how do you get the AM out? Do you just wait for the tele staff? Well, it's only 30 seconds, so I guess you do. Alright, it's not that bad. It won't cost him a TP, but it does seemingly cost him some creep time.
Yeah, it would be super annoying if you had to kill the farm. Because it would take a long time, his units would have to stay there, like you wanna go creep. But he needs the water elemental to creep in that location. Oh my god, he's gonna start it without. Oof, that's gonna do a lot of damage. On the other side, we almost Archmage level 4 for Sok, who already has double Sanctum. Usually when you see this kind of game, like if I had to look at the situation right now without having seen the game, I'd say like, okay, Sok like wins this game 9 times out of 10. Because then he can just expand super easily behind this. He could even get the red first if he wanted to. Like, he can do anything here.
And we are, of course, going into Breakers with a double Sanctum. No surprise here. Only question is, are we going to see an expansion from one of the two? Even up on the high ground that has sometimes been seen if one of the players should have a big advantage. But we're gonna battle now for the Ogre Lord, and this is where things can get weird. If you go for the Stormbolt Surround, but you get punished by the opponent, that can become very painful. Chaemiko tries for it, but the Ogre Lord is far back. He's getting healed, and he's got Inner Fire. That's a tanky big boy right there.
Yeah, it's very risky to go for. I'm a little bit surprised that Sok didn't go for an expansion earlier, because he had the wood for it, but now his Mount Tanking is getting targeted. Remember, the Mount Tanking of Chaemiko has a greater healing here. Sok is taking a pretty bad fight. The creeps are attacking him on the other side. Is this the way Chaemiko comes back in this game? Sok grabs one of the creeps, gets Archmage level 4, is looking to try and get out of there now. One of those priests was ensnared. Chaemiko running out of mana on the Mount Tanking needs to start taking things a little slower here, maybe.
Where are the militia, I wonder? Shouldn't they be called here by both sides? Sok is bringing them in now. Took a little while though. Should you be able to force your opponent back, that will be the Ogre Lord going to you. But it's still dangerous. Ogre Lord still lots of HP. Still Inner Fired.
He's gonna go for the surround. I think. He's not surrounding it. Why? There's a Stormbolt from Chaemiko. He's gonna try and steal that. Can he get it? Gets Stormbolted at the last second.
Oh! The
Archmage
AM stole it!
Oh my god, one single little fireball.
But it's still the big aura. It's the ancient Django.
The item in the middle is so important. If you get, wait, is he gonna expand? Or I was like, that's pretty ambitious. But to be honest, he's ahead. Sok has 47 supply against 36.
And both moving towards 50 supply. Kind of. Well, for Chaemiko, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Sok just ahead in every single regard. Also, his upgrades coming a little faster. The early game creep route was a little bit quicker. His levels were a little bit quicker reached as well. And now the MK is going to get level 3 and a big mana potion. Is it actually level 3? Oh, not quite. Misses one kill. So what do you do now? It's pretty obvious, I think, also to Sok that he has a lead. But how do you best play with that lead?
I think you expand on 50, which he's about to do. It's super delayed, actually, the expo. Like, again, he could have gone for that way earlier, but he was like, I'm not going to take the risk of my opponent getting the red, then expanding himself and then defending, and potentially having a really good item. So he grabbed that himself. Fortunately for him, he got a really good item, and now he can just expand and get a ton of supply and make sure he just doesn't get crazy harassed by, like, peasants that would kill... footmen that would kill peasants. It's so weird that Chaemiko went for the fountain, by the way. Usually you would go back to your side of the map, get your own expansion. I wonder if Chaemiko might be planning some sort of one base. And he's 5 experience away from Mount Tanking level 3 here. If they fight, Sok is gonna wreck Chaemiko.
Chaemiko falls back for now. Really liking his inventory on Sok's Mountain King. Very tanky with a bonus armor and evasion, which is also really nice against the breaker feedback, by the way. But he gets the water metal kill. That's double level ups for Chaemiko. That's a big deal, but he's losing more footies on the way back. They're trading footmen here, as these units are always in the front and not magic immune. They naturally die pretty fast once we get to around 50 supply. Those will be replaced by breakers. And speaking of breakers, Chaemiko does have a few more of those at the moment.
Yeah, there's more footmen for Sok, which are supposedly good against breakers, but also can get targeted by the entire army very quickly. Sok starts going for priests. They both have magic control, by the way, so the water elemental ping pong game should be starting pretty soon here if they have enough mana, which they should. But yeah, upgrade-wise, Sok doing better. He's 1-1 against 1-0. He's already queued an extra upgrade, which is almost halfway through down the +2 attack. And Sok just has more. 47 against 40 right now. Both players out of mana on their mount tanking, but there's this greater mana on Sok. I think he was trying to get close to the mount tanking of Chaemiko to try and go for his surrounds.
This MK is so fast, dude, with the aura, with the boots. He's just running after these breakers like Usain Bolt and bashing them with the hammers from behind. A few nice bashes here led to some kills. MK almost level 4.
Yeah, Usain Bolt with a bash hammer. Now that would be a sight. Nobody would be safe.
Good thing the Olympic Games are cancelled this year. That would be a menace.
I don't understand why Sok didn't expand, by the way. I think he was long distance mining.
Are under attack.
I think he knows that Chaemiko doesn't have expand either, so he's like... He goes for castle. No.
Yeah. He's going tier 3.
It's supposed to be pretty bad, but in this game he's so far ahead that I guess why not? But at the same time, if I had to pick like one way you could throw a game, maybe that's the one by going castle. But like here it just feels like he's too far ahead anyways, that it could actually be beneficial. Look at this, Archmage almost 5, Mount Tanking level 4. Still has the greater mana. He has evasion on his Mount Tanking. He has that Django still.
Oh my god, these items.
A player's
Pretty nice.
Evasion as well was picked up by Chaemiko.
Oh yeah. Similar looking MKs, but what Chaemiko doesn't have is the aura. And also, no chance in this fight. He needs to TP out of this pretty quick, I would say. But he's trying to stay in it with a much smaller army. He's got some reinforcements coming in from the main, but it's only a few priests here and there. And the hammers may put a quick end to their lives. But Chaemiko is holding his ground over here. It is still even in supply, although it doesn't look like it with these forces right here. Militia come in though, and they will try to turn the tide.
I think Chaemiko should have TP'd. He was also very indecisive. He kept on using Dispel on the water elementals, but by the time it landed, he had used magic control before. So he was trying to dispel his own water elementals. What are you doing, Chaemiko? You should have Town Portal out of there. 41 supply against 50 now. 2-2 upgrades for Sok, 2-0 only for Chaemiko. And I think this game is about to come to a close, Remo.
Yeah, if the MK falls, that must certainly be game. But he's got some potions. With the big healing and the invul, he can survive, but he cannot win this game anymore. It's GG, 1-0 for Sok.
Yeah, and how much of this comes down to the one steal in the beginning, where Sok got level 2 and then Chaemiko stayed on level 1 for a long time. And of course, this tiny little mistake with the tele staff.
Which keeps on happening.
But yeah, that was a huge advantage for Sok at some point. He got the middle, he skyrocketed in experience, he had great items, good execution, just very solid play all around, and you can't do these mistakes against Sok in a mirror match.
Yeah, it seems like Sok was really comfortable from the start. He's the one that went for the more standard creep route. Chaemiko, I don't really understand what the thought was behind just like playing so defensive. Trying to go to just fight the opponent on the camp that he was almost already done with. That was really, really weird and just didn't work out for him at all. And Sok after that, if you're in a lead in this matchup and you're a player of like the caliber of Sok, it's very, very rare that you're going to lose that game. Because there's not too many comeback mechanics. Usually some hero target can be one of them, but now it just felt like as time went by, Chaemiko was falling further and further behind with everything that was happening.
Right, let's see if we can start a comeback on the next map. That is Last Refuge. That is Chaemiko's map pick. So Sok wins his home turf, and it's time for Chaemiko to come back. Otherwise, he is eliminated, falling once again to Sok. History repeats quite often in Warcraft, but also series seem to turn around more often recently. We'll see where this goes. Maybe with a better start. Maybe with not getting trapped in the base, Chaemiko has a shot here. And maybe he can throw a curveball or two. We will see. There's not too many curveballs to be thrown in Human Mirror, but maybe you deviate your creep routes a little. Here we have the early access to the mercenary camp, which could give him a little jump start with items. But if we see that or not, well, let's go for Last Refuge. Right. Here we are, guys. Bottom left, we see Chaemiko trailing and facing elimination. In the upper right, we got Sock punching for the quarterfinal.
Last Refuge here will be a very different game, should be at least, from our last one. With the early Merc Camp access, you have a lot of power early on with Shadow Priest Dispel, and later with Berserkers. Level 3 Creep Route for AM also is pretty straightforward and easy on this map. And fast expansions are favored, but by some humans quite a bit. Is it the case for the Koreans, or do they still trend more towards one-base play, even on LR?
I think they seem to me like they would be more like a one-base players, but it really depends. Like, you know, if you have some extra information on the opponent's tendencies, which obviously they should play against each other quite a bit, not just in tournaments, but also on neties. Sometimes you can just try and surprise and adapt to what you think the opponent's going to do. If you know for a fact that they're going to come to your base, just get ready a little bit more for that. But yeah, if they both creep mercenaries and then the expansion, there is always some incentive to also just both of them go for expansion. So we'll see. Obviously, scouting is key. Your starting footman will be a scout very often, but Sock, he loves Mountain King. I mean, they both do. And he's opening Mountain King first in Mirror on Last Refuge. This is not done super often, and there are some good counters to it. But it also can be very strong because it's not that hard to creep the Merc Camp first if you pull it, even though he's going Mountain King. So, and Chaemiko is not scouting because he's doing the pull himself. Against the Mountain King, you want to know as soon as possible because then you need to get ready with an Arcane Tower in the main base, probably on the expansion too. Obviously, the goal with Mountain King is always to get level 3 quickly, and then the clap games begin.
Yeah, I still vividly remember this game, Sock versus TH at WGL, when TH just destroyed him in that best of 5 in the Human Mirror with the Mountain King. That must have left an impression. If you can level him to 3, if you get Merc Camp access, he can be pretty good. First item for him is the Rune Bracers. Later on against enemy MK might be good. Early game, it's unfortunately entirely useless, whereas Chaemiko with the Scourge Bone Chimes for the footy sustain could be pretty good. When you find an item like this, does that change your early game tactics at all? Are you more incentivized to go for footman battles?
Not really. Oh, you mean the Vampiric?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, maybe, but against Archmage, not against Mountain King. You don't want footman battles against Mountain King because you're gonna get clapped to death.
A player's forces
So
are under attack.
I'm wondering if Chaemiko might late scout here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so his footman gets caught, and that's gonna die. Yeah, the Suron's gonna get closed, and then Sock. I do think that when you open Mountain King like this, you're gonna be expanding. I don't think we're gonna be seeing any craziness where it doesn't expand at all. Chaemiko was already going for the Arcane Tower in the main base anyway, and now he's just gonna set up the expansion here. His expansion will be quicker, as it often is when you open Archmage against Mountain King. But the question is, how well is he gonna be able to do against Mountain King when he finally reaches level 3? It's all about how you can manage that guy.
Yeah, it seems like it wouldn't be the worst time now for Chaemiko to finish this camp, set up the expo, and then be aggressive. But how smart by Sock to steal the enemy Berserker away? So with that, the early game pressure potential for Chaemiko already quite a bit later. Is Sock gonna go for his own Berserker is the question, because if he doesn't, then Chaemiko could just steal that one. It's of course very expensive, so not so easy to afford, and especially since Sock wants to follow up with his own expansion.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't have the gold for that.
He doesn't have the free supply. Look at those rings. Let's hit the pawn shop. Wait, he's keeping them. He sold Vampiric, but kept the rings. For his second hero, I'm guessing. He gets a staff. I don't think Chaemiko would want a staff inside of that main base of Sock. But yeah, Chaemiko, his expansion's already on the way. He's not rushing an Arcane Tower there. And there is a footman. Obviously, there is no staff yet for Sock. He's looking for some claps. Lands a Stormbolt on that Forest Roll Shadow Priest. Can he get the follow-up kill? Yes.
That's a good bit of experience here for the MK as well, right?
Yeah.
Close to level 4 already. Once he gets that, he has a strong Stormbolt and a strong clap. But heavy usage of Mercs early, so this expansion is definitely delayed. It's like a full minute behind that of the opponent.
And wait, I was gonna say Sock's playing it very safe. He's staying near his expo, but he's moving out here a little bit. That Archmage, if he starts killing peasants, could be bad. But yeah, Sock moves back in position. I do think he might sell the Rune Bracers to make sure he gets boosts and stuff ASAP on the mount tanking. It's super important to get that. With how good clarities are nowadays, there's like even more incentive I feel to go for stuff like mount tanking first. And one peasant's actually gonna fall here. There's no abolish yet. There's about to be one on the top priest, but you might not even need it. He has enough damage. What the hell did the mount tanking just do for Sock? He went to the right side, didn't buy items.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 footies of his opponents in his main, so he, I think, tried to deal with those. Took out one of those footmen, and is now very close to level 4. But yeah, you and me both love the boots of speed on the MK. But Sock is not getting them yet. Now has the space to go for the next creep camp, realizing the AM was out of mana, at least for a little bit. Didn't fear any pressure anymore. Gets this one, gets the Wand of Illusion, and level 4 finally. But I imagine tech should be pretty late for Sock with how much his economy has been harassed.
But to be fair, Chaemiko's tech is late. He hasn't started it yet. He was mining with 6 on gold for the expansion, for a long time. He gets a shop first. I don't really understand why. Okay, he canceled one of the peasants in the main base, so I think he's about to just wait until he has exactly 210 wood and then start that tech. But it was super delayed. Like for an Archmage versus Mount Tanking game where he expanded way earlier, it should already have started, I think.
Really good Shadow Priest control, by the way. Always keeping them safe as best as he can. There's a third Shadow Priest, there's another Dispel coming in. And these Waterlements have been dealt with really well. Some priests go down for this, and of course Waterlement's only mana, but it's also momentum in the game. It's the AM not being able to put on the pressure that he wants to. And Sock, I really like his position. Yes, his tech is late. Okay, to be honest, it's really late. But this MK is almost level 5, or at least, 4.5.
I mean, you say it's really late, but if he starts it now, is it really that much further than Chaemiko? Like, it's not that long after. Chaemiko took forever to take. I'm so surprised that he let this happen. Like, with Archmage, like I said, he should have been able to take way earlier. The Archmage gets spotted on the high ground. Is it time to buy stuff and start going on the hunt for the horse here? And that Mount Tanking will be getting level 5 insanely early this game because of all the units that have been fed to him. He clapped the crit. The tower at the expo, he needs to repair.
Oh, it's so close. Oh my god, that was like 5 seconds. It was less than 5 seconds to save that one. And that's very annoying now. AM can get kills here, can get level 4 here.
Muddy's here.
Oh! MK, can he get in range for the Stormbolt? No. But that Waterman is more experienced. That is one step closer to level 5.
And look, Sock spots the army in the center, but he's gonna get surrounded for it. Archmage is gonna get 4 from that? Really? Wow. The dream. I wonder what composition Chaemiko goes for. Against Mount Tanking, sometimes you can try and go for air. But some humans, if they're used of Mount Tanking first, they're gonna be very good against that. They'll get a ton of flying machines. They'll get orb on the Mount Tanking eventually. Invis Archmage? What? Because there is no Arcane Tower. So he wants to snowball.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Sock also, with his whole army moving across the map, looking to be aggressive himself. Footy's in the main, harassing there. But the MK, now with boots, can get there pretty quick, and that is possibly a lot of experience for this Mountain King over here. And the AM at the expansion. But wisely, Sock reads this play and leaves his mercs at the expo. He's got 2 abolishes and just a lot of units here. That's more experience. This must be MK reaching level 5.
Yeah, he's seconds away. That blocked nice, but that footman. And really got Stormbolted. Muddy slows the Archmage again, but he will be able to get out here. Chaemiko as that slow finally ran out. And the wood economy of Sock not being slowed down that much, to be honest, given all things. He's even getting a guard tower in the main base, so he's a little bit paranoid. He's like, okay, you're in full harass mode. It's hard for me to stay mobile and defend everywhere, so I'm going to get an extra tower in the main base in case you go for something like a Zeppelin. Second barracks already? Wait, is Sock going rifles or something?
Oh my god. Is he actually going rifles?
Usually the only reason you will get a second racks this early is if you want to go rifles. That's why I say that. If you want to go for knights, you get that second barracks while you're taking to castle. Like maybe halfway through done, you get it.
Blood Mage second is coming, by the way. More mana support for this Mountain King. Tier 3 cannot be tagged right away. It feels like Sok, with how strong of a force he has here and how strong of an attack he's threatening, he could go tier 3, but yeah, Lumber is lacking. Is he really going rifles? Yes, he is.
Oh my
Long
God.
rifles upgrade.
This is crazy. It's because he already has Mountain King level 5, so he's saying, because I already have that, I'm gonna go Blood Mage second and then just let the Mountain King dominate the grounds. And then since Mountain King is gonna be really good against ground, even against knights, rifles against knights is like a terrible matchup for the rifles, but there is that Mountain King. He's like, I'll take care of them. So he's like, what could be a dangerous thing? I guess air. In this case, we see a double Sanctum from Chaemiko. And he needs to realize early what's happening here, ideally, for Chaemiko, I think, and maybe creep a little bit. Maybe retrain for Blizzard. Against rifles can be pretty good.
Aren't breakers supposed to win that battle against rifles? It's not really something we see a lot, but just on paper with, you know, armor types, shouldn't they be doing good?
I mean, it's gonna get a lot of rifles. You're more worried about the sorceresses that are then gonna slow everything. Because usually if you go rifles, it's very hard to get a lot of breakers with them. I think obviously rifles, they're not the best unit against breakers, but he's gonna have some footmen. He's got so many mercenaries. What is this? Triple Troll Berserker, triple Shadow Priest.
Dude, if he loses all of these, that is crazy experience for Chaemiko, by the way.
Yeah. But 62 supply already. He's going on the offensive. That Archmage is gonna get caught. What's up, dude? He's trapped again. He's trapped between farms.
Okay, but he can staff out. He knows there's no bash. That's a lot of piercing damage here. Mass piercing damage in a human mirror. What the hell? The next clap, though. Ooh, against the peasants. That hurts. Blood Mage level 2.
Chaemiko, for some reason, was going mortars. I don't know if he anticipated multiple sanctums and just break a caster play, but I wonder how he's going to do against this army. Sok, it feels like he doesn't have too long before this army starts falling off a little bit. I mean, it's such a weird game, it's even hard to tell. I've never seen like rifles like this with Mountain King Blood Mage. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it, right? Because he doesn't have brilliance, so he can't rely on casters that much. But you still need to ideally add at least a few priests to help with the healing of your army. Damage-wise, like, you're perfectly set. You got Clap, you got Stormbolts, you got all of these rifles with a lot of damage. He's getting +2 attack. It's all about adding a little bit of sustainability, and that's what those priests are going to provide.
He's going tier 3 Sok.
Oh my god. Rifles are terrible sieging units, so even that siege here is not that scary, but it does feel like Chaemiko is going to have to engage momentarily. Why does he have 2 ivory towers?
I don't know, man. I'm just ultra confused. Stormbolt on the Mountain King doesn't seem to be that effective. Siphon, though. Siphon Stormbolt combo on the enemy Mountain King. That is certainly looking effective. That is almost all the mana drained already. But the breakers are still magic immune. They don't take that much damage from the piercing of Sok's side. Big Involt popped. Oh, that clap into the priest, though. Now he finds his target. Oh, he's out of mana for now. Was getting drained quite a bit, I guess, here by the breakers. But the Blood Mage could, again, give him quite a bit of mana back.
Very nice hitting ward here in the back for Chaemiko. He should actually sit there a little bit longer. Mountain King is almost level 6.
Is he gonna use ult?
Yeah.
Stormbolt is...
No.
I think Stormbolt might be better.
You go Avatar because he needs something at the front to tank for a long time. He has almost no front line other than that Mountain King. So you Avatar, then you have like all the HP and armor in the world, and then you let the rifles do their job in the back. And then you just keep nuking. I think only Stormbolts on heroes, obviously there's nothing to clap, or like not so much. Sentry
Ward.
Ward.
What's the third hero for Sok? Just standard Pally, or can we go crazy?
He could go Archmage, but yeah, I think Paladin might be better to just keep healing his Mountain King at the front. But I think he wants to add Knights. The tier 3 is mostly for Knights. Mountain King taking a lot of damage. He has an invuln. He's gonna have to pop that early. After that expires, the Town Portal is on the Blood Mage right now, so he needs to be really careful. The Mountain King of Chaemiko is at the front, but not being targeted. He's gonna Town Portal out. Gets one last breaker. Mountain King so close to level 5, but not gonna quite get it. But Blood Mage did get level 3.
Yeah, these breakers seem to be looking pretty good, as so often in Human Mirror.
Yeah, but usually it's one base against one base, so you have to go breaker wars. Now, with expansion against expansion, it's so unusual to go mass breaker and on the other side rifles. Like,
Can Sok at all go into Knights now, or has he committed too hard to these rifles already?
No. He has to go into Knights. He has no choice. They are the counter to breakers. If he can get even just 2 or 3 Knights with Sundering Blades, he's gonna counter those breakers pretty hard. Then it would be for Chaemiko to add some sorceresses, but those Blizzard, this is what I was talking about. This is why you don't go rifles in this matchup. He was so far ahead the whole game, and it feels like now Sok has been countered. This is a power spike for Chaemiko before the Knights are there.
MK very deep in. If he gets one more kill, by the way, he's level 6. Siphon on the AM doesn't last long though. Mountain King in very deep. Use the mana potion. Next clap. Hits on only one priest, I think it was, for the Mountain King. In trouble. Is gonna die. Doesn't have the time to pop the interval. He was still stunned. Is he going for the ult? I'm not sure. Yes, he did. For Cosmodan. The first time in DreamHack Summer, I believe it would be the ultimate shown, but as Chaemiko's on the retreat already, no need to use it now. And it's a lot of time bought for Sok for possibly going to Knights. And he is going Knights, you're right.
And Chaemiko now, he has to add sorceresses very, very soon, because against Knights, without them, it's going to be in big trouble, especially as Sundering Blades gets added later on. It's not there yet, but those guys will do so much damage. Oh, the Mountain King looking for the backline, lands a big clap in the middle of all of these mortars, and Priest is finally going to transform, plus 10 armor in total, plus 22 damage. That guy's a butcher.
Wait a minute, is he dying though? There's no
TP.
staff!
He's trying to transfer. Okay, he's going to TP out.
Oh.
I think it should be saved.
Alright. He's got a lot of HP with the ult.
There was Militia in the expansion of Sok. What? Go home, you guys are drunk.
Call an Uber. Be safe.
Don't drive now. Your human chariots, even. Those roads are dangerous as well. Chaemiko on 71 supply, but look at his army. It's really not that healthy. I feel like he needs castle himself, but he probably thinks, okay, that would take way too long. He has an aura to work with, so his caster should be much better in having a lot of mana. And the missing thing for Sok here is mortars. He's not going mortars at all. So I think if you're Chaemiko and you just get a lot of sorceresses, you're going to be able to stow everything that Sok has, because he has no breakers. He barely has any priests, they don't have any mana, and he doesn't have mortars. So composition-wise, if Chaemiko does the right things, he's going to be in a great spot. He's going to get Blizzard level 3 in a second. It's crazy because he's on tier 2, and I feel like if he manages this game well, I actually think that Chaemiko might win with full tier 2 army against full tier 3. Or like a lot of tier 3, I guess, not full.
That's pretty crazy. Paladin here solo creeping. A little for Sok, almost level 2. Ring not too bad. Not going up to the red camp. On LR, the natural mines out quickly, so we don't have that much time left. Chaemiko is setting up the third base, but Sok is deciding not to do so.
Okay, where is those sorceresses? He got 2? I think 2 more would be nice, but he's adding more breakers right now. Invis just finished as well. So that's some saving potential that he has for his Mountain King, which could come in handy. That Mountain King level 6 from Sok has got to be the MVP. He needs to get on top of this army, and he's about to do so. Big clap lands. Chaemiko is struggling with the army movement. He has to pop a healing scroll before the engagement actually properly started. Sok is so confident, he goes for Devotion as well, not even a Divine Shield.
Sorceresses did get off a few slows, but I think now all Soks are taken out. The Blizzard in the back, though, with the mortar team damage. Oh my god. Crazy splash. AM now getting siphoned, though. Kind of low mana. MK, same for him, low mana. But he could pop the ult maybe if he gets transferred some mana again. Blood Mage trying to win the mana battle. But this Blizzard, oh my god, the damage for Chaemiko. Sok has to TP out again, taking too much damage. Saving a lot of his forces. But that was a good fight for Chaemiko.
Yeah, Sok needs a bunch of breakers. Even if it's just 2 to send back some of this slow, at least momentarily before Chaemiko sends them right back. He can't access his shop. Those farms have blocked him so much in this series already. Everywhere that he makes them, it seems like eventually they're gonna come back and bite him in the butt. And now he had to break one of those in order to even access the shop. And on the other side, we're finally gonna add mortars here. From Sok, remember he already has +2 attack, by the way, for those rifles, which is gonna affect the mortars as well. So in terms of damage, Sok is going to be doing a lot, but Chaemiko has the extra expansion in the bottom right. And we saw what that Blizzard can do. And he hasn't even synergized it that well yet with the clap of his Mountain King. But I think he's about to.
Oh, that creep jack. Sok may not see it coming right away. Gets the item though. Wand of the Wind is amazing against the AM. If he is in range.
Oh my god, he's going to attack before there are mortars. Frag Shards is on the way. This should be the priority. Like, you see a workshop and you have this army as Chaemiko, you're like, okay, well, this is... You know, it's like in all of those movies where, like, there's, you know, a Death Star or something which finally has a weakness. It's like, you go for that weakness right there.
Waiting for some more knights, for some more upgrades. The MK dodges the Stormbolt with the ultimate. He's getting focused. He is very tanky, but it's so many breakers.
God.
It's impossible to reach the backline. The perfect breaker positioning. Where's that Wand of the Wind, though?
Yeah, he's not using it. He might be out of range slightly. The Paladin's trying to come forward. Chaemiko's gonna taunt portal before he loses all of his casters.
Oh my
He's
God.
killed so much thanks to the Blizzard. One last rifle. Splash. He gets it thanks to the mortars. Chaemiko's still on 80 supply. Now he can go castle. Now he should definitely go castle. Even though he's short on wood, go for that. And here's the thing about Chaemiko's army. It's very strong against what Sok has, but only if you manage it correctly. If you take a fight up until you have only your heroes left and you lose your entire army, you've lost the game. You need to taunt portal out when your units start running low, use scroll for regeneration, go back across the map with clarities, and then re-engage. And you keep on doing that. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Kind of like Infi does in Human against Orc. If you just try to take straight up fights for the longest time, you're eventually going to end up losing. Chaemiko has no more gold in his main base. It looks like he's going to expand on the left side. What is this mad game we're seeing to open up the day here?
Yeah, crazy game here. Really enjoying it. But the level 6 MK doesn't seem to be good enough. The ult must be on cooldown now.
Without Avatar, this is very risky here.
Yeah, Stormbolt surround. There's an invul though. He needs to cyclone up this AM. Where's this Wand of the Wind? Sok is not using it.
Yeah, he really needs that. There is no Sundering Blaze either for the Knights. I don't know why. They're supposed to be the counter to these breakers, but right now they're struggling. And Chaemiko, now he can start doing really well with the slow. There's only the 2 breakers for Sok. The Paladin will get sniped. Oh my god, Wand of the Wind was never used.
And that kind of seems like the end here, maybe. Another clap comes out, but that was the last bit of the mana. The Blood Mage has to do it with the mana drain. But he can never dry out this AM. And how can he with such a massive mana pool? Sok is losing so much, down to 65 supply only. Chaemiko in high upkeep.
There's a knight in the bottom right going to town on these peasants. He somehow realized there was that expansion. Sok getting a lot of big snipes there.
True.
Avatar has to be back soon, I guess.
But it's still 90 supply for Chaemiko. And so much more Blizzard.
Goes for a Stormbolt on the Mountain King. Remember, there is invisibility to always save that guy. And Sok, his Mountain King goes really low. He has to staff it out. He's gonna have to pull back now. I cannot believe the workshop died at the worst time while he was researching Frag Shard. He didn't make it safely at the back of his base. Now the one that he made in a safe spot, but there is no gold left in the expo of Sok almost. It's gonna run out in a second. And it did as well for Chaemiko, but he has that extra base in the bottom right. Which is right now is being guarded by a knight, actually. If you're not gonna use the Wand of the Wind, sell it at least.
Perhaps he's gonna remember. But will that be good enough? Chaemiko, it looks like he's bringing us to a 1-1 here. 81 supply still for him. I guess he should kill off one peasant somewhere.
Yeah, my eyes have been burning for at least 2 minutes now. He's gonna start mining as well now. Mountain King of Chaemiko is taking a lot of damage. Chaemiko, please.
The priest is on the job. We're good.
Oh my god. But it's still really bad to lose this much hit points before there could be a fight here in a second. Gets evasion, I think for this... No. Was that last game? Yeah, it was last game.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets evasion this time around as well. And that push is looking strong by Sok. He's bringing militia. Oh my god. Mountain King will set up with invisibility. Oh my god, the clap blizzard potential. Oh no. He dodges the Stormbolt.
That's the Stormbolt return on the enemy MK. Does he have another clap as well? He's trying to run out of range of the Siphon. He's getting surrounded up there. Oh, but the clap against the Militia. Insane damage. And the AM can transfer over items. It's the TP over to the third base. And again, Chaemiko with so much more supply. Sok down to only 46. It was a peasant slaughter. Up on the high ground now. So Sok has to fight against Mischance now as well. On top of everything else. More teams doing a lot of damage on both sides. But the breaker front line for Chaemiko, it's just not falling. Can't deal with it here. Can't Sok. He has the Avatar again. But it's the only strong thing that he has left. His more teams will be falling. And soon his heroes as well, I imagine. It is GG. And we're going to map 3.
Oh, boys! What are the mirror matches these days? Unbelievable. Sok is getting punished for his cheeky play. And in the end, Chaemiko, weapons of mass destruction with Blizzard, Clap, mortar teams. Nothing stood a chance. So sick.
Rifles in mirror maintain their win rate of absolutely 0%.
That's true. And
there is a reason we don't usually see them, and I think we saw it here yet again in action.
Sok had a great early game, had a great mid game. Mountain King was paying off, and then he decided, okay, I'm gonna style on you a little bit. And he got punished so hard for it. And Chaemiko shows that he does have a good sense for this game. He made the right decisions. Sok was always a little too slow to follow it up. You guys pointed it out during the cast. Knight's a little too slow, Sundering Blades missing, Mortars too late, like all of that. He was trying to brute force with this style. Didn't really work. Forces game 3. Chaemiko's still alive. And we go into a little break and then we decide the first series of the day. Who's gonna advance into the quarterfinal? Who's gonna get eliminated? Be right back. We're back with a decision in Group A, ladies and gentlemen. Not only the last series of this group, but also the last map of this group. Sok and Chaemiko going at each other's throats. This second map was absolutely crazy. The next one is Amazonia.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to be as crazy, right? On Amazonia, you seem to be locked into a certain strategy much more. If you don't go AM with a perfect creep route, you fall behind on level 3. You can't fast expand, it's too hard. This is normally the number one base breaker map, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be pretty tough to expand, but that's why sometimes some players, they use that to their advantage and they actually go for the expansion. But in Mirror here, I think if you would go for that, even if you surprise the opponent and he reacts to it a little late and you manage to creep the expo, there's going to be that part where you're trying to put the expansion up and he comes over and he kills 10 billion peasants. And you're going to be like, why did I go for that? So in this case, I don't think there's going to be any expansion. I think it's just going to be the usual creeping. Question is, do they both try and get level 3 before fighting? Before, it kind of looked like Chaemiko was the one to shy away from creeping a little bit more than Sok and trying to get aggressive earlier, at least on Conceal Hill. So maybe that trend continues here.
All right. Possible pocket strats here. I've seen Chaemiko try to go to tier 3 a lot on this map. And I could imagine Sok going again for this MK. But we will see about that in a moment as we're loading in to Amazonia. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the upper right, losing map 1 and the first half of map 2 in not too convincing fashion, but strong comeback and good decision making. It's Chaemiko. In the bottom left, falling flat on his face in map 2, but time to close this out now. It's Sok. Have fun, boys.
Do you remember that game, Todd? A few WGLs ago, it was Chaemiko and Sok meeting. I think it was in the second group stage. You know, when Happy won that time around. And they played a mirror. Chaemiko finally won it. Everyone was surprised because Chaemiko was supposed to be bad. And there, Sok on AZ played AM into rifles with Dark Ranger. That was a little trendy for a short while, but emphasis on short. Didn't work and we didn't see it again.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't remember that game specifically, but I remember seeing that a few times. It's the kind of strategy where it really hit or miss. You know, like if you win with it, you're going to look like a genius. But if you lose, you're going to look like an absolute dummy. So it doesn't really surprise me that it didn't do well in this case. I think it will not do well more often than it will. And honestly, I expect pure standard here. I don't necessarily expect them to creep to level 3 before they clash, even though that's a possibility. I think they might just creep level 2 and then run towards the middle and start clashing already. And if I had to guess, I'd say Sok will try and creep the kobold, and Chaemiko will try and show up there and prevent him from doing that.
Item drops here certainly an important factor. Damage is what you want on the AM. Claws and intelligence items are the best. And we have circlets so far on both sides. We're staying nice and fair. I like that.
I think agility is alright too. It's just those rings. They've got to get removed from the game, like, let's be honest.
A player's force
What if they were +5?
They could be +12 and I still would prefer a claw.
That would be pretty crazy to imagine. You find 2 rings, you have +24 armor.
I sent the Archmage in alone.
Great boss. Oh, Chaemiko creeps the Murlocs with the AM. Wait a minute. Why is his experience so low? He must have... Did the lightning shield deny the big boy?
Yeah, I think on... I don't think the big
no.
one, but... something.
Sok stole it. Look at his experience.
Oh, yeah, what?
He stole a few creeps. He got a lot of XP. Oh, Chaemiko needs to get this last hit. And he does. Oh my god. That was such a clutch move.
That's
Next
big
one.
save. And they're just going to engage with Footman against Footman, but we have one more item for Sok. So it's slightly better for him to fight. Usually if you have way more Footmen, it's You should be the one winning those fights. He's already damaging the Archmage of Chaemiko. And being so close to level 3, if Sok creeps the Murlocs
Players' forces are
with
under
just his
attack.
militia, he gets level 3. He's gonna get boots because he's already damaged the Archmage more. Oh my god, he's gonna do the Murlocs. The pushing potential is massive here for Sok. He goes for the Archmage, starts doing a lot of damage already. He sold one of his items for some reason.
Sold the slippers. Doesn't appreciate the agi. But he does get the level 3. And with that, he could try to be really aggressive against the peasants, or he could try to take the Kobold camp, the second one in the middle, which would also be very nice.
His full potential as a thief has yet to be exploited. There it is. He's going for it. Chaemiko realizes he can't do anything about it. He probably knows that it's happening, so he's gonna go for a little bit of creeping. But not even that full camp will give him level 3, would it? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not quite enough. He's getting close, but no cigar.
Oh, he's
and
trying to go
Fleet
for a
taking
steal.
a lot of damage as well.
Look at this. He shows up in the center looking to try and go for a steal. It's a long shot.
Can't
No,
get
doesn't
it.
get it. But that footman, he can get that footman. He's got boot now. He has boots of speed. That
No
footman will
deny?
give him his level.
Oh, nice deny.
And now the Archmage is really low. Like usually on this map, it's so common to fight a lot that you
player's
have to get
forces are
a
under
shop
attack.
early to heal all of your footmen and sometimes even your hero. But Chaemiko has skipped that for some reason. Sok is the one that's getting the shop. Sok is playing a lot more solid than Chaemiko so far this series, I would say. Like the only reason he lost last game is because he goofed around with rifles when they should never be made. Period in mirror. Imagine if he had gone Mass Breakers and Archmage second last game. He would have won like pretty handily, I think.
A player's forces are under attack.
So now we have a substantial experience lead. Chaemiko is almost level 3, but not quite there, and no easy creeps at the moment outside his main to go for. And Sok, as strong as he's feeling, stealing the merchant away from his opponent now would be amazing. But the footies are threatening a run by, kind of. Interesting.
Both players going for the double Sanctum. We don't have a Lumber Mill yet for Sok. I think you need to add that there eventually to help with the wood
Player's
collecting,
forces are under attack.
which helps in turn to expand earlier. Like Chaemiko is doing so much better in regards to that, but he only has the one Sanctum started right now.
Yeah, also much better on lumber because he didn't go for the militia creep at the Murlocs, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of helps him.
And Sok, by the way, he made his Sanctums with not 2, but 3 peasants each. They're already both done. Look at this. Chaemiko is
Yes.
trying to do the same on his second Sanctum to catch up with the first one, but his Sanctums are later. I think if you're Sok, you should be trying to steal some more camps here. I'm surprised he didn't go for the shop. Like when you Archmage level 3.7 against 2.9,
Forces are under
it
attack.
feels like if you are level 18 World of Warcraft and then you meet your friend and he's level 35 and you just cast one spell and you kill him. You can be the big bully. You can really steal a lot of camps away from the opponent. Makes it... He's starting to simultaneous camps. He took the item in the top left and while he's doing the Goblin Merchant with the Mountain King.
Oh, look at these items for the MK. Oh, boots, tankiness, attack speed. Wonderful welcoming gifts for this dwarf. And also level 4 for the AM. But again, lots of militia use. So once more, Sok sacrifices lumber. So he still is far away from easily being able to expand.
And looks like with his great wood economy, Chaemiko will be the one to maybe go for the expansion a little bit earlier. He's gonna get a free footman as well, actually, here.
Forces are under attack.
And he needs to pull back the Archmage here to make sure Mountain King gets the full experience from this. Remember, there is no item in the top left that was taken away, but he could still get the experience to get level 3 and then start going for those fights. Sok also needs to pull back his Archmage here. Mountain King needs the full experience from that. Now it's time to rush that Mountain King to level 3. And in this situation, you always go for Stormbolt level 2 and Bash level 1.
Big mana potion, great find for Chaemiko. For Sok, it's the big invul. Also good.
Yeah. Especially if you get surrounded. You just use that and it's like, okay, well, your surround is going to be useless for a very long time now.
And the AM comes in, harasses the peasants. No expansion here for Chaemiko. He will lose some on the way back. Well, only one. Sock doesn't want to risk getting Stormbolt surrounded. And his own MK in the bottom right will get the next item. Lots of experience and level 3.
Yeah, those sentry wards are quite nice here. You could actually put one down near the merchant of Chaemiko so he sees what he buys. And also we give him vision to make sure he's covered in case he gets creepjacked if he tries and do the golem. Because now, it's the situation we see very often on this map. Every camp has been crept, it comes down to these golems on the corners. And it looks like Chaemiko is the one that's going to cross the map to maybe try and challenge on the bottom right here against Sock. But he gets the scroll, I think, here, yeah. There's almost an invuln. 4 seconds for invuln plus scroll. Sock could have stolen that himself if he stood on the shop, but he's too busy fighting right now to think about that. And Militia is going to come in here.
One priest was the end of this tale. Not too many more losses. Sock wants to run away from this militia duration, perhaps after re-engage. It's only a few seconds left on the timer.
And
Nice
Chaemiko...
splits by Sock here, setting up a big concave.
Oh my god, he went clap! The madman! He went clap level 2! Did Chaemiko here. This man is addicted to clap. Trying to go for a stumble surround on the Archmage, but he got bashed at the worst time to be able to land that. Knowing that there is no clap on Sock's Mountain King, he tries to go for a surround. We're going to be seeing some more clap from Chaemiko. He's still got the greater mana. That's a lot of claps that he's going to have here. And with Militia coming in, that's a lot of kill potential, but his Mountain King is not so healthy.
Heal scroll is only available for Chaemiko. He used it already though. Militia about to run out. So many peasants on the field. Clap comes in. It was okay. Don't think it was the most amazing. Oh, AM far forward. Needs to be careful. He eats the Stormbolt. That could be close. Sock, what are you doing?
Yes,
the
Clap.
first hero. Oh my god, Sock. What a massive mistake. He summoned the water elemental, but didn't realize in how bad of a position he was. Maybe he didn't see his HP bar or something. Insane blunder.
Oh, the
That
Mountain
totally
King.
swings this game around.
Yeah, and the only moment you can lose to clap in mirror is now, before there is a lot of breakers. They had 2 or 1 breakers each during this fight. If you wait longer, if there is 7, 8 breakers, and then you get Stormbolted, targeted, and you have clap, you're gonna lose all of your mana pool. And because you don't have as strong a Stormbolt, you're gonna be in big trouble. So Chaemiko, he still needs to do more damage here for him to have a real chance at winning this. He needs to get Mountain King level 4. He's actually pretty close. Pops the invuln here in a bit of a panic. Archmage is back now for Sock. You don't have a choice in these kind of situations but to instant revive it, which is what he did go for.
MK about to hit 4. Kind of nice for the level 2 clap now. Always dangerous to retreat in Human Mirror, as the priest will be exposed to the Stormbolt as long as your opponent does have the mana. Peasants were at the expansion.
Player's forces are
Didn't go for an actual Town Hall though. We're close to 50 on both sides. With that hero kill, Chaemiko inched his way back into the game, but now we have breakers, and now this clap won't do anything anymore, it seems.
Sock has a 1 upgrade lead here. It's 1-1 against 1-0. He's trying to go for the Mountain King a little bit. Remember that he has Bash, so his target is actually very dangerous. Goes for a Priest. He's gonna be able to get that. It does feel like it's better for Sock now, because that's where Bash really will come in handy. Look at this. Even going for the Breaker pretty easily. His Mountain King's a little bit healthier. It's level 4. His Archmage is closer to 5, even if so slightly. And there was 2 footmen at the expo of Sock, actually. For the longest time now. They're finding peasants, but I think if Sock comes back, he's going to be able to kill those, get a little bit more experience. And then those hero level advantages, they're coming super handy.
a player's forces are
All
under
right,
attack.
the dust settles. We have a bit of a reprieve here. And time for more breakers, more upgrades. I imagine they're both spamming them. Oh, well, actually, Sock is halting right now. His lumber is a little low.
Well, he has an invuln on both heroes, and the one on the Mountain King is the big invuln for 15 seconds. Whereas Chaemiko, he doesn't even have an invuln. I'm so surprised he didn't drop by the shop to buy another one. If he has to fight sometime soon, he's gonna really regret not having that.
A player's forces are under attack.
Going for the red camp. Killing that with breakers takes quite some time. But if he's not harassed and creepjacked, it will work.
That's Archmage level 5, by the way, on this camp. Which is a big deal. Even though the opponent has Priest, it's very, very hard to keep dispelling away Water Elementals level 3. And he gets Warsong! Oh my god.
A player's forces are under
10% damage for everything. Definitely something you can use with an army like this, where the right-click damage is a little underwhelming. Now gets boosted.
What is going on? Chaemiko sent Militia to the Expo of Sok. I think
No
he just
way.
assumed he was gonna... No, he doesn't want to expand. Or at least not. I hope not, because there is a ward there as well. I think he probably thought that there was going to be an expand, so he wanted his peasants.
He's doing it!
No.
And the ward sees it! So do you just let this finish and then attack, or do you cancel it?
You go there and you kill all peasants.
That should be pretty easy. That's such a foggy expansion, dude. This immediately reminds me of the game against Blade on Concealed. Well, I guess this one is even more outrageous.
To be honest, he could let it finish, but sometimes... You know, it's like in StarCraft, sometimes you see a Nidus in your base, and then you're like, oh, I'll let him come. It's a trap. And then the Nidus comes out, and then you lose everything, and you lose the game. It's like, I shouldn't have done that. So you need to be careful. You play with fire, you might get burned here. But I think it's better not to let that finish. You can just go there and kill all the peasants. But in this case, Chaemiko really wanted to finish the creeps in the top left, so he's going to use the opportunity that Sok goes down there to do that. But then Sok's going to ignite the creeping on the other red camp. And Chaemiko is going to take him a while to cross the map. That might get finished before. He does have a full inventory on his mount tanking. Hashtag first world problems.
Yeah, I like that Sok is committing in deep. If he's getting jacked here and he has to TP out, it's certainly worth it for this red camp item. Khadga's Pipe. That's 250 gold right there. Also an
Chaemiko is
experience
so
for this
late.
MK.
Yeah. He gets a bunch of experience, but he gets gold as well for extra units. So Sok will always have a supply advantage. He's 2-2 upgrades against 2-1. Splits the Water Elementals very nicely. He's just got more units. The stronger inventory as well. And, oh my god, Sok rallied his Sanctums inside of his main base. So he's missing some of the reinforcements. Chaemiko somehow making this a game despite opening Clap, which is not the most viable of things here.
Sok is losing a lot of breakers. That's 3 breakers going down quickly for Sok. He overextended perhaps on the enemy MK, but he does get level 5 now. Chaemiko has grabbed the supply lead. The breakers are finally coming in from the main, but is that perhaps too late? TP out by Sok loses one more priest. And that... Somehow Chaemiko totally flipped around.
Dude, he has 51. No, he sold item at 51. How could you?
Kill that peasant right now.
He makes more units. I think he realizes he might get attacked. It's crazy. He has superior levels, a better inventory, but he still messed up that fight a little bit because he was misrallying his Sanctums inside of his main base, which, I mean, breakers are magic immune. They're definitely not the units that in Mirror you should be misrallying like this. They can just come to your Archmage and always be really safe. Not like they're going to get ensnared or stone bolted, since there is no raiders and Stonebolt doesn't work on them, so... A little bit surprising of a mistake, and now that kind of gives Chaemiko a chance in that he's 1 breaker kill away from getting Archmage level 5, which is a big power spike. But his mount tanking still has a worse inventory than that of Sok. Look at this. Sok has 250 hit points more on his mount tanking than Chaemiko. He's got a bunch of extra armor, some attack speed, and that big invuln potion. By the way, actually, he went Brilliance level 3. You don't necessarily always see that, because Water Elementals level 3, they're very hard to dispel away. And then when the priests come in, you can target them. But I guess a lot of humans have started prioritizing Brilliance level 3 more and more in multiple matchups. I wonder what Chaemiko would go for.
He's calling the militia again. Is the breaker count equal? 10
Good luck
versus
counting.
12. So Chaemiko has more.
Did he match the upgrades? Yeah, 2-2 as well. 65 supply to 69. It's usually very common to buy a Zeppelin here. I'm a little bit surprised they haven't done that. Can really get you some good saves on that mount tanking, but to be honest, they've done a good job kind of moving the mount tanking back whenever it was getting targeted. And Chaemiko finally banked some of these invulns. He's got one on the Archmage, one on the mount tanking. A backup Zeppelin is still always welcome. And it looks like they're gonna mine out their initial gold mine. But who expands then? A healing scroll would be very nice actually for Chaemiko. Sok doesn't have one. Here we go.
We engage into the next fight. You want to try to not A-click the breakers, I guess, but rather target single ones. So you can force them out of the fight or kill them. But when the armies are so big, that's hard to properly do. Seems like Sok has split off his breakers into 2 groups. Militia come in once again, adding in more normal damage. And the AM for Chaemiko does get level 5. Is it the Brilliant Zora or the Watchwoman's? We'll find out soon. MK eats the Stormbolt, but he's very far back. He seems to be well enough protected. And again, the breakers for Sok, they don't form a proper front line, which means some of them will be getting picked off quite easily. But Chaemiko is dropping down more in supply, it seems. We have about a 10 or 9 supply lead here for Sok. But he's out of mana on the MK. Chaemiko still has enough of it on his. And he's going back in for the clap, finally! Has the opportunity to use that spell well again. And now Militia also coming in for Sok. Chaemiko producing more, back up at 65. Not too many units have died yet. A heal scroll here for Sok would be amazing. There's so many units of his hurt. But again, 2 breakers too far forward there in the north. Almost lost. But just barely. Micro back in time. Oh my god, a heal scroll? What he wouldn't do for a heal scroll right now.
Yeah, there isn't one available for 50 more seconds. Sok going in for the kill. 70 supplies. Finally started to do pretty well in this fight. Both Mountain Kings are about equal supplies. It's all about resetting that position here occasionally, improving it however you can. And it keeps going back and forth with the positioning. Chaemiko did such a good job saving some of his units, pulling them back. Sok finally losing patience. He moves in. Some of his breakers take a lot of damage. I still can't tell who's winning.
Yeah, it's going back and forth over here. Slight supply lead still for Sok, but that doesn't have to be the end of this fight.
And magic control being used
stolen.
from both sides. They're training those water elementals left and right. Mountain King is almost level 5 here for Chaemiko. And Stormbolt potential is massive here. They still have Invuln. He doesn't dodge it! Mountain King! Only 1 single breaker is on him. He gets level 5. And I'm pretty sure that now he's gonna focus on dodging the next Stormbolt. Sok is getting pushed back. He has so many red breakers. I think he might just want to go home and use a regen scroll. And they have about even supplies.
Another breaker goes down right there. That's a costly loss now as the mains are about to expire in only a few seconds. Chaemiko has a bit more left as he called more Militia. And now on the way back, this is where the MK really shines with the boots. Can pick off these priests really easy. They're the slowest part of the army. MK trying to get into range. But only actually got the 1. And when we are still super even in supply. That regen scroll though. Oh, beautiful value.
The Archmage of Sok is closer to level 6. That could be very important here. And this is one of the rare games where you actually go Water Elemental level 3, I think. He could still go Mass Teleport when he gets that. But here's the thing. They man out the map. Actually, in this case, Sok a little bit earlier than Chaemiko. And then after that, it's like whoever... If somebody tries to expand and you make that extra unit and then use your peasants as offensive militia into peasants, you're going to kill the opponent a lot of the time. So there's almost that incentive to not expand and instead just spend all of your gold, get the biggest army that you can get, clash, whoever wins is the winner. And I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah. They're both producing as much as they can. Both at 62 supply.
Chaemiko is a TP, by the way. Sok doesn't, so that's nice little extra escape.
Oh, doesn't Stormbolt the priest? That would have been a sure kill. Wants to keep it for the MK, I guess. I think Chaemiko's baiting it, right? He goes in with the MK, baits the Stormbolt, goes back, and then he doesn't even take that much damage. Returns the Stormbolt now, but he still did take a decent bit of damage, and this one might hurt. Is he gonna die now? Heal Scroll keeps him alive. And again, the MK survives.
Yeah, Militia is gonna come in from both sides. They're clashing with everything that they've got. Sok has no peasant left in his base. Chaemiko doesn't either. They're throwing the kitchen sink at each other.
Repositioning with the breakers. Chaemiko's gonna lose one over here. Dodges the Stormbolt on one side, not on the other, because Sok didn't have to. There was no follow-up damage here. And Sok, does he have the better end of this engagement now? Still up in the air. Not too many priests left, by the way, for Chaemiko. He can't heal that much. Both MKs losing HP, losing mana. It's only a single Stormbolt left here for Sok, it seems. And none at all for Chaemiko. Getting pushed back further and further. Chaemiko's gonna TP out, resetting the position. It's back to the main. and has the slightest of supply lead.
Oh my god, 48 against 15. Not a single peasant left alive in this game. Chaemiko's probably thinking, should I sell something? He should get a regen scroll. And Sok is not wasting any time. He saw that there was a lot of units being really low, in particular that Mountain King. So he wants to get on top of this army. Sok went for Water Elementals level 3, by the way. As Chaemiko still doesn't have level 6. He's very, very close. And Chaemiko can't move out because of his wall. It would be so tricky to actually move out. If he can kill 1 or 2 Water Elemental here, he's gonna get level 6 himself. And then we're looking at an even game still, but that inventory of Sok still way better. He still has Warsong, which has helped a ton this game as well. I can't believe Chaemiko managed to make it this close, considering there was a Warsong for the opponent. 4 priests left for Chaemiko. We got 5 for Sok, as he just killed 1.
Yeah, how to get out of this base now? It's really awkward. MKs greet each other with the hammers, but not too much follow-up damage. Oh, some of the breakers are blocked. It's really hard to micro this now properly. It seems like Chaemiko has way less damage uptime than Sok does. This base is working against Chaemiko. He loses 1 breaker. Another one is close to dying. He's repositioning into the back and wondering himself how the hell he's going to take a proper engagement now.
Yeah, now he lost some important units. That was a little bit sloppy. I think he just needs to accept that he's going to lose his altar farm, and it's not like he's going to produce anything anyway. And then once Sok has done the dirty job, once he's opened the gates for him, then Chaemiko, you move out and you go for the fight.
So should Sok just not attack these buildings and just stay here and wait for Chaemiko to become impatient?
Yeah, he thinks he's ahead, so he's pushing. But yeah, to be honest, if he went to the center of the map, I think Chaemiko would just go there as well and fight him. And it would be better. It might not matter. Like, Sok is just feeling on top of the world. He's super confident right now. Finally, he opened the gates. And the floodgates being opened means Chaemiko is gonna start coming out. His Mountain King takes so much damage instantly. Double magic control on these Water Elementals. They get traded back. I don't know why he's not dispelling them. He seems to prefer stealing them away because he has less army. Chaemiko supply is starting to go a little lower. Or he's about to. 45 supply. The Mountain King taking so much damage. He's gonna have to pop the invuln. Maybe he can combine that with a regen scroll.
He was holding on to it for the longest time. Now has to. The other MK still has the big invul from early on into the game, by the way, but Sok seems to be doing it. Up now by 10 supply. The concave is looking much better for him. He has perfect damage uptime on his breakers. He's finding more and more kills. Now with so small of a fight, easy to pull back the herd breakers. And Chaemiko is not able to keep up with the damage. He does get level 6, but that's too little too late, and it's GG. And Sok making